points on 12 or fewer attempts from the field in the shot clock era. Followed that up by scoring 36 against the Grizzlies. Young and Dominique Wilkins, pretty good company, are the only Hawks to have opened a season with back-to-back 35-point outings. Trey has now done it in consecutive seasons. And then on Monday, scores 29 against the Pistons in the Hawks home opener. He's now scored 102 points in the first 3 games, tying his own record from last season for most in franchise history through 3 games. Malika Andrews joining us now, and let's begin with Trey Young, who's on a mission this season. What has made him so dangerous, so effective to start the year?
Well, Nabil, you'll remember that when the bubble was put into place, when they said that not every team would be going, Trey Young was one of the players who eventually said that that was motivating for him. That stung a little bit. He did not want to be on the outside looking in ever again, I'm told. And that was sort of a flame that was lit within him. He went to LA during this offseason, and sources close to him told me that actually some of the pickup games that he played in included playing against Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. And then all of that led up to this start that we are seeing right now, where the players that they've put around him have really allowed him not just to be able to be making better reads on the court, but also to be able to get in the lane and be able to score at will because he has such dangerous shooters surrounding him. Now, just a few minutes ago, I asked head coach Lloyd Pierce if he was surprised by what he was seeing from Trey Young, and he said, you know, we need to get to the point where we're no longer surprised anymore. This is an all-star caliber player, and we want this to be regular for him.
Now, let's talk about Brooklyn, who looked invincible at first, but they've lost their last 2. Spencer Dinwiddie, we know he is gone now with that torn ACL. KD, Kyrie should be back tonight. What does Steve Nash do with that rotation?
Well, Steve Nash, I asked him, hey, who's going to be in the starting lineup? And he notoriously does not want to reveal it, but I would not be surprised from talking to people around the organization to see Karis LeVert sliding into that role. He's been a starter before. He's proven he can do it. He started last game when those 3 players that you mentioned were not playing. So I expect to see his minutes go up. I also expect Timothé Luau-Cabarrot, his minutes coming off of the bench. I expect to see that balloon as well. Another interesting thing that Steve Nash mentioned is remember that Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant have played all but 22 seconds together on the floor thus far this season. Kyrie's been on the floor for 22 seconds without Kevin. Kevin's never been on the floor without Kyrie. Steve Nash said eventually he wants to work to stagger those guys' minutes as well so they can lean into their depth and really make the full potential of it.
Yeah, interesting to see how that plays out. The Nets and Hawks tonight, and then they do it again on Friday. Thank you, Malika.
Couple of good football games on Friday. College football playoff.
Doing your
great show.
Busy show for us, though, here
Yes.
today, as there is so much going on as 2020 comes to a close. It's kind of fun.
And as I look at the old watch here, I don't wear one. 6 o'clock. This is when the show usually comes on.
Don't wear a watch.
So these are for the people that tuned in with appointment viewing. 6 o'clock. This is when we come to watch SportsCenter. Here's what's happening at this hour. 2 days before the college football playoff begins, Clemson announces today offensive coordinator Tony Elliott will not be on hand for the Sugar Bowl against Ohio State due to COVID-19 protocols. Dabo Swinney will announce who's going to be the play caller tomorrow morning. Next time you see Patrick Mahomes in a game, it'll be the playoffs, like January 16th or 17th. Not going to play the regular season finale for KC. They have the 1 seed. They have the bye. A-Rod's got the MVP, so just rest yourself up and get your mind right. Portion of Bills Mafia will be in full throat for Buffalo's first home playoff game in 25 years next weekend. State of New York will allow just a little more than 6,000 in terms of fans to attend the game after no fans have been in the stadium at home games at all this season. Surprise move in hockey. Bruins legendary defenseman Zdeno Chara. That guy's tall like a squatch. Left Boston after 14 seasons. He's signing with the Caps. 43-year-old defenseman, 1-year deal. Training camps open on Sunday. And one final headline from college football, right? Not Dabo, not Saban, not Brian Kelly. Coastal Carolina's Jamie Chadwell named the AP Coach of the Year. Indiana's Tom Allen, second. Cincy's Luke Fickell was third. That's consolation because you guys don't get to be in the playoff.
It's win or go home for the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday. They beat the Rams, and they're locked into the playoffs. Quarterbacking play, that'll be a major storyline. We know Jared Goff is not playing after undergoing surgery for his broken right thumb. Kyler Murray has been dealing with a leg injury. His status was up in the air until his media session today.
How's your leg, and do you expect to play Sunday against the Rams?
Yeah, feeling good. What was the question?
I just want to clarify.
You asked me if I was going to play?
Yeah, I just want to clarify just because I wasn't sure about the first answer.
Go tweet out that I'm going to play. Yeah, I'll be playing.
Got to be accurate for Twitter. Dan Graziano joining us once again. So Kyler Murray says he's good to go in a must-win situation. What can we expect from him in this one?
Yeah, I mean, if he's good to go, I think that the expectation will be that you see the regular Kyler Murray. Look, if he's able to practice today as he was, that's encouraging for his overall health. When he left the game, or when he suffered the injury in the game last weekend, there were some questions. But even as the week started a couple days ago, the Cardinals were hopeful he'd be able to go. So it looks like they dodged a bullet here, and that he will be able to give them, typical Kyler Murray effort in a game that they have to win. The Cardinals are treating this like a playoff game, and it is. If they win it, they're in the postseason. If they lose it, they are not. And obviously all eyes on Kyler Murray at the tail end of a very strong second season to see if he can deliver in a game of this magnitude.
Yeah, he went on to say today the stakes are high, acknowledged that, hasn't played in a game like this before in the NFL. Arizona looking to get back into the playoffs for the first time since 2015. Thank you, Dan.
Wednesday is back to work around the NFL, virus permitting, like the Browns had to close their training facility today. Miami Dolphins have a simple playoff clinching scenario. Win, they play in the postseason. The more difficult part is that win has to come against the Buffalo Bills, AFC East champs, general menace on a par with any team in that conference. Tua will start. Fitz is available at any point if he needs to have his head ripped off, but still throw a pass that will get his team in field goal position.
Buffalo's a good team. They are. They play well offensively, defensively in the kick game. They're well coached. They're tough. They're physical. They got good players. So we got a great challenge ahead of us.
We got to go out there and perform. And this is crunch time. And yeah, now's not the time to be making mistakes and all of these things. You got to really zero in on what you got to do to help the team become successful and get a win.
Speaking of wins, one against Cincy on Sunday, and Baltimore will clinch a wildcard spot in the wildcard spot for the playoffs. They've won 4 in a row with Lamar Jackson rounding into form. However, the Bengals, they are no pushover. They've won their last 2 games, beating Pittsburgh in primetime, and then they picked up their first road win since September 2018, beating the Texans.
This is going to be a big challenge for us. It's a division game on the road. It's a tough place to play always.
Quarterback situation, it's touchy.
Really good because it's working. Listen, this is not a long-term answer, but it seems to be something within their building, within the confines of what they're doing playing-wise that's working. It's important, though. It's important to mention that you have to have 2 guys. Obviously, we know Fitz has been in this league for a long time, understands the dynamic of the business, but you also better make sure your young rookie quarterback has the right mentality and mindset to play as best as he can when he's in the game and not get disgruntled with the possibility of Fitzpatrick taking over late in games. And I believe Brian Flores has done a tremendous job knowing that that's the makeup of both of those guys in that room, and then them being able to perform. Look, Fitz had his face mask ripped off, completed a pass, but that was a part of the dynamic of Flores feeling like they needed a spark. So with that being said, this year in particular, absolutely. It's working. Continue to do it. It won't be a long-term answer, though.
All right, I'm going to make the producers mad and go off script for 15 seconds. If Dan Marino was coaching this Dolphin team, would they beat Buffalo this weekend?
No, but Brian Flores is, and they got a chance.
They got a chance. Very good. Marcus, enjoy. We got a bunch of football next few days. Enjoy.